is he okay?
Yes.
I somehow made it.
I love that everybody's hugging. Keep on hugging and sit down hugging and snuggle up and move the chairs so that you can all sink into one big, cozy snow day hug. Or hold hands. Don't feel too burdened with the books. I know there's twice as much as there usually. But they will be helpful to us. So as people are settling in, I think we might need Cora. Do you want to take over the first row? Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. There are more chairs here and more chairs here. I didn't want to make any assumptions. So, before we even start, I want to say something. It is much more intimate than the high holidays. But it's also been 10 months for me, I think, since I started. And I know every single one of you. And it feels very different to have a morning service surrounded by people I know. So welcome to the space. And here is my usual COVID update. So we are now at a low risk, according to the health, whatever it is called, which means that we're masks optional. I'm not going to ask anyone to put them on, but if you would prefer to feel really, really safe, we purchased a lot of N95s, and they're right next to the door. Those masks are the ones that keep you safe, as opposed to the others who keep others safe from you. So if you feel you would like to have one, they're right next to the entrance. And let's dive right in. One last thing of instruction. I put not only the prayer books, but also the Torahs out there. And my bar mitzvah people know exactly where to find everything, and they know the names of all the 5 books of Moses. So they can help their parents if need be. I don't even know, but there's no need. So we're beginning the service on page 192. Different page numbers today. With Ma Tovu, it's good to be together. Of the prayer books. Everybody found the page, and everybody found the right space to sit and sit comfortably. Today's a special day. It's the last day of Passover. And for those of you who connect Yizkor services with the High Holiday services, I can tell you that it was spring, that the time when these services began to happen for a really specific reason. Spring was the time when in Europe people were able to move around again because the snow has melted and people had all kinds of funny ideas. So one of them was to reconquer the Holy Land from its Muslim occupation. And as they went on their way, they slaughtered every non-Christian they could put their hands on. So Passover, from Passover to Shavuot, everything happened that we connect with the Crusades in Europe and in the Middle East. So holding those two things together is one of the big challenges of the morning services of Passover and Shavuot, because they also remind us of our exodus to freedom, our freedom from slavery, the giving of the Torah. But at the same time, those days of the year make space for a Yizkor service, for remembering that Jewish history really witnessed all kinds of things. And that service here will give us an option to look into different chapters of history, into different kinds of writings, and into different kinds of lessons we can draw from this to make meaning in our lives. So, on this 8th day of Passover, who of you observes the 8th day of Passover? Who of you is a 7-day Jew? 7 days? Fair enough. Pizza for lunch then. 8 days? Who knows? Maybe 3 days. We are on page 196. Eloheinu Shama. The soul that we receive every morning is pure. And we just sang that last Wednesday. So maybe some people remember it.
Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Tehora Tehorahi Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Tehora Tehorahi Ata verata Ata yitzarta Ata nevatach bi Ve'ata mishamra Bekirbi Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Tehora Tehorahi Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Tehora Tehorahi.
Every morning, the rabbis would say blessings over daily miracles. And what's a miracle? To open your eyes and be able to see. To be cold and have something to dress yourself in. And as we're praying our way through quite a long list of blessings from page 198 to page 202, just ask yourself one question. Which of these tiny little miracles, so tiny compared to the parting of the Red Sea, is a miracle that really fills you with awe every single morning? Pick your blessing. 198.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam,
אשר נתן לשכבי בינה, להבחין בין יום ובין לילה.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, פוקח עברים.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני
אלוהינו מלך העולם, מתיר אסורים. אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני
אלוהינו מלך העולם, זוקף כפופים. אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, רוקח הארץ על המים.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המכין מצעדי גבר.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, מלביש ערומים.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם,
הנותן ליעב כוח. אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני
אלוהינו מלך העולם, המעביר שינה מעיניי ותנומה מעפעפיי. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בצלם אלוהים. אמן.
ברוך אתה
אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בת חורין. אמן.
ברוך אתה
אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני ישראל. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוזר ישראל בגבורה. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוטר ישראל בתורה. Amen. Passover is a moment of song, and we're not going to sing the entire Hallel service, but we will sing the psalms that we will sing now starting on page 212, with as much joy and as much enthusiasm as we have on that morning when we were able to open our eyes and get dressed and wake up as free Jews. 2:12.
Baruch she'amar v'haya olam, Baruch she'amar v'haya olam, Baruch she'amar v'haya olam, Rucha she'hayta v'haya olam, Baruch she'amar v'haya olam, Rucha she'amar v'haya olam. 2:14. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, 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 באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד הללויה אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יעללו חסלה. פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון. פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יעללו חסלה.
Top of the page, 215.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יעללו חסלה. פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון. פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון. Hallelujah,
218.
hallelujah, 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 el bekadsho, hallelujah, b'kiyahu zo, hallelujah, b'gvuratav, hallelujah, kerov kulo, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. בנבל וחינוך, הללו בתל ומחול, הללו במינים ועוגב, הללו, 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 הללו בצלצלי שמה, הללו בצלצלי תרועה, כל הנשמה להלל יה, הללו, הללויה, הללו, 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 הללו.
The section around the Shema is somewhat of a statement of faith. If someone were to ask you, what's Judaism all about? What do you really believe in? Maybe you would actually come up with those three things. We call God the Creator. We really believe that there is something about this world that is a gift from God. And we're saying thank you for that. We really do believe that studying Torah, reading the Torah, immersing ourselves into Torah is something that is yet another gift from God. That it connects us with God's Spirit or God's thoughts, God's guidance for the right way to live our lives. And maybe you would even say that. My Judaism is not all about like the things I'm not supposed to do. It's really something that liberates my heart and my mind, and sometimes even my body, because it calls me to move and grow and never stop to learn and develop myself. So the blessings around the Shema hold those three things. I don't know how you would call them. Traditionally, they're called creation, revelation, and redemption. We begin on page 226. Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed.
And you may be seated, page 228. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzeh or uboreh choshech, oseh shalom uboreh et hakol. Together on page 229. In the beginning, even then, a new light was shone for the righteous, a promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai yotzeh hameot. 2:30. Ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah, ahavtanu, ahavtanu, ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah, ahava rabbah. Ahava rabbah, ahavtanu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. How deeply you have loved us. How deeply you have loved us. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. And if you're wearing a talis, this is the moment when you wrap the fringes around your ring finger like you would do for the ring for your beloved, because this is the moment of betrothal. Page 232. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. So this is the moment of total liberation, and we're going to have it. So it is my great honor to invite up Momo Mansfield and her mom, and everybody else who wants to join us right here in the front, or if you're not as daring, you can raise in your seat, and we will reenact together the crossing of the Red Sea, and I will be a participant in this. Oh, hold on. Give me a second. Standing at the sea,
Micha mocha, standing at the sea, Micha mocha.
Standing at the sea, Micha mocha, freedom's on our way. Singing and dancing,
Micha mocha.
Singing and dancing, Micha mocha. Singing and dancing,
Micha mocha.
freedom's on our way. Freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom's on our way. They're coming up behind Micha mocha. They're coming up behind Micha mocha. They're coming up behind Micha mocha. Freedom's on our way. Bound no more, Micha mocha. Bound no more,
Micha mocha.
Bound no more, Micha mocha. Freedom's on
our way.
Freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom,
Freedom's on our way.
The sea she parts,
Micha mocha.
she parts,
Micha mocha.
the sea she parts,
Micha mocha. Freedom's on our way.
walking through the water,
Micha mocha. Walking through the water, Micha mocha. Walking through the water, Micha mocha.
freedom's
On our way.
freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom's on our way. We're on the other side, Micha mocha. We're on the other side,
Micha mocha. We're on the other side, Micha mocha. Freedom's on our way.
One God,
Micha mocha. One God.
Micha mocha.
One God, Micha mocha. Freedom's on our way.
Freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom,
Freedom!
freedom, freedom's on our way. Freedom's on our way. Freedom's on our way.
Yay! To all the kids in religious school who've been practicing this for the last 3 weeks or their entire lives, who knows? All right. I hope you're feeling liberated now. We are gathering our focus. On page 240, we're starting with the Amidah. So we rise. And we usually, as we begin to say the Amidah, do the following. We take 3 steps back, and then 3 steps forward, and then we settle into space. And that is what we learned in the 12th century. But before that, I can assure you, people just didn't stand that still. They would walk around mumbling. They would try to remember what was the next one because they didn't have books, so that was an extra challenge. And they would kind of like wander around, collecting their own prayers. So if you're still in the mood of moving around, you should try this. Not throw your books, but throw your hearts into heaven. And figure out if you want to stand still and gather yourselves quietly, or if you feel that there is still something that keeps you going. Page 240, the beginning of the Amidah.
I think it's 242, actually.
242.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha.
Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevii geula livnei bneihem, Leman shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופך עולים. ומתיר עשויים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממיד ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה.
ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני
שמו.
מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאיך. וקרא זה אל זה ואמר,
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו.
אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, שמך בכל הארץ.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם,
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אל
אלוהייך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. קדושתך נקדיש. בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. We're in page 252, and you can continue for just a moment silently. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, יעלה ויבוא ויזכר זיכרוננו. Page 258. Sim shalom, tova uvacha, chem shalom, tova uvacha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Please be seated for a moment. We are entering the space of the Torah service. There are many, many, many great readings for Passover morning services. A lot of them deal with the matzah and the lamb. Some of them deal with the angel of death. Today, and I think also in the following years, we're going to hear a different story. We're going to hear the story of the Israelites leaving their houses, following God's signs and wonders for the next steps of their journey. And I am very excited because I am going to co-lead this part of the service with a wonderful new partner on the bima. Where I come from, people would get very excited. Woo! So, Lisa Müller, it is my honor to have you up here with me for the next 20 minutes or so. Lisa is not only going to read from the Torah, but she is also going to share her own piece of personal Torah. And I had the honor of reading it before, and it is quite a gem that is waiting for you here. So you don't have to come right up if you don't want to, but I will call you up with all the dignity of the moment. For all others, I ask you to rise for the beginning of the Torah service on page 362, sorry. 362. Let me find this too, just to have a backup. And as you might have noticed, my Gabaim, Richard and Janelle, are traveling. So we will do this, but we will do this in a very slim and uncomplicated fashion. And you will hear me talk non-stop, unfortunately. But, what else is new? Page 162. 362. There is none like you among the gods, Adonai. Ein kamocha ve'elohim Adonai, ve'en kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אב הרחמים, היטיבה ברצונך את ציון. תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, כי לבדך בטחנו. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה,
Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael bigdushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti unerom bema shemo yachdav.
You may be seated. It's a very simple thing, actually. The moment that the Torah is up and moving around, we're up and move around and dance with her. The moment that she settles down, you settle down. And then that is the moment. So here we are, right there, at the moment of departure. The first Aliyah speaks about an interesting thing. It speaks about the fact that the book of Genesis and the book of Exodus are connected through bones. And it's not just anybody's bones. Those are the bones of Joseph, our forefather, who died in Egypt but never wanted to be there. So when he died, he had said the following thing to Joseph, his son: "Put my bones here, and one day I tell you, God will take you out of this land, and then I want you to take my bones with you into our land, home,
and I want to be buried where my fathers are buried. So for a lot of people, Judaism is all about that. They carry the bones, and they want to bring them home. And we all weigh into our Jewish community in different ways. Some bring the messages of their fathers. Some make sure that what the last generation has acquired is benefit the current generation in our current life. So I want to call up Cory Newman, who is in the middle of a huge campaign to preserve everything that's good in the world, or at least housing in Montana. And I want to thank you for everything you bring to this community. It's had a lot to do with the bones, the tradition, and the will to bring forth everything that was accumulated in generations before so that we can thrive today here in Bozeman and in Montana. Here's your talis. Ta'amod. What is your Hebrew name? Malka l'Aliyah Rishon. And we're starting right here. You grab a piece of your talis and you kiss here. Perfect. Thank you. And then we have your cheat sheet here.
Baruch Adonai et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'nat lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Yishar koach. Amen. Vayehi beshalach paro et העם, ולא נחם אלוהים דרך ארץ פלישתים, כי קרוב הוא, כי אמר אלוהים, פן ינחם העם בראותם מלחמה, ושבו מצרימה, ויסב אלוהים את העם דרך המדבר, ים סוף החמושים, עלו בני ישראל מארץ מצרים, ויקח משה את עצמות יאסף עמו, כי השביע השביע את בני ישראל לאמור, פקוד יפקוד אלוהים אתכם ועליתם את עצמותיי מזה איתכם. And you kiss again. Perfect, thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Cora, may you go from strength to strength. And next time you hear, may we have something huge to celebrate in your life. Chag Sameach. So, Lisa Miller, it's your time to rise. And I'm doing something that is not often done, but I heard that it's the custom in this community anyways. I want you both to read and to say the blessings. Because blessed be you who, responded my call for Torah readers. Welcome to this space. This is your yad. And this is where you start. Yes. Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Amen.
ויסעו מסוכות ויחנו באיתם בקצה המדבר. ואדוני הולך לפניהם יומם בעמוד ענן להנחותם הדרך ולילה. העמוד אש להאיר להם ללכת יומם ולילה. לא ימיש עמוד הענן יומם ועמוד האש לילה לפני העם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Lisa, you read to us about the two pillars of Esh fire in Anan, which is a cloud. And you're going to tell us much more than this. No, but later. But I just wanted to say, may it always be right in front of you. Yishar koach. For the third aliyah, and by the way, for the ones who are impatient, very impatient, I want to call up, there are only going to be 5, so, just that you know. I want to call up Sharon Tholt. I'm so sorry, I have to do this, because really, Sharon is steering the caring committee, and also the Chevra Kadisha, and in both functions, she has just brought an immense work and care and love to this congregation. So I do think this aliyah is in the right hands. And we are beginning right here. If you want to take your tallis, some piece of your tallis. And no. I'm not spontaneously calling up people to read.
Because I'm just in the beginning class. Okay.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam vaed.
Natan manu el Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, naten ham Torah.
Amen. Vayadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el Bnei Israel. I'm going to do an unusual thing. By the way, I give you 2 books so that you can follow along. We are in the book of Exodus, chapter 14. We are now starting with verse, let me just check. Starting with verse 1. Chapter 14, verse 1. I'm so sorry. I should have told you that earlier. And Lauren and Avery are perfectly capable to help you with the pages in case you are getting lost. Okay. Amen. Vayadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el Bnei Israel, veyashuvu veyachanu lifnei pi hachirot, ben migdal uben hayam, lifnei Baal Tzefon, nichechot tachanu al hayam, ve'amar pa'ol livnei
ישראל, נבוכים הם בארץ, סגר עליהם המדבר, וחיזקתי את לב פרעה, ורדף אחריהם, ויכבדה בפרעה ובכל חילו, וידעו מצרים כי אני אדוני, ויעשו כן. And you take again your little, and you kiss here. Perfect.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Blessed be the word, the work of your Sarah Chaya. Next time. May the work of your hands be blessed, in all honesty, inside of this congregation and outside of this congregation. And may we all learn from you to be present in every single moment to the need of the moment. I have no idea how you do it, but it is amazing. Chag Sameach. So, for Aliyah number 4, I want to do something that I never done before. I don't even know if that's legal, but we'll do it anyways. The second to last Aliyah is usually followed by the Misheberach for the sick. So I would love to call up someone who is not even here. But I know that he is following because he is sitting in Maine and he's nothing better to do. And none of us has ever met him. His name is Bernard Reiner, and he and his wife Joyce are at every single of our services because his wife once learned something about the Jews in Montana, and they found us. And he has just been hospitalized with heart conditions for a couple of weeks, I think 3, and returned home yesterday. So Bernard, I'm going to call you up. This is your Aliyah. I'm going to say the blessings for you, and then we're going to say Misheberach for a speedy recovery. And everybody else in this congregation, from Fred to Bill's sister to Monique's sister, everyone else you hold in your hearts, Randy's mother, this is your Aliyah too. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. אמן. ויוגד למלך מצרים כי ברח העם ויהפך לבב פרעה ועבדיו אל העם ויאמרו מה זאת עשינו כי שילחנו את ישראל מעובדנו. ויאסור פרעה ויאסור את רכבו ואת עמו לקח עמו. ויקח 600 רכב בחור וכל רכב מצרים ושלישים על כולו. ויחזק אדוני את לב פרעה מלך מצרים וירדוף אחרי בני ישראל ובני ישראל יוצאים ביד רמה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. We're on page 371 in your prayer books for the Misheberach, which is for Bernard and Fred and anyone else you hold in your hearts.
הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Amen. And for the final aliyah, I would love to call up Lauren Werner and her parents. Because Lauren is going to be almost like her bat mitzvah is coming up in September. And it's a good thing to practice being here and handling the scroll and doing all the things. So if all of you want to grab a tallis. I have a pink one, yes. Okay, good. And you take a little one of your fringes. Wonderful. And I'll show you where I will start reading. And then, here. Then you give this a little kiss. Perfect. Baruch Adonai hamborach leolam vaed. You repeat the first one. No. Ah. אמן, וירדפו מצרים אחריהם, וישיגו אותם חונים על פי הים, כל סוס רכב פרעה ופרשיו וחילו, על פי החירות לפני בעל צפון. ופרעה הקריב ויסיעו בני ישראל את עיניהם, והנה מצרים נסע אחריהם, ויראו מאוד ויצעקו בני ישראל אל אדוני, ויאמרו אל משה, המבלי אין קברים במצרים, לקחתנו למות במדבר, מה זאת עשית לנו להוציאנו ממצרים? הלא זה הדבר אשר דיברנו אליך במצרים, לאמור חדל ממנו ונעבוד נא את מצרים, כי טוב לנו עבוד את מצרים ממותנו במדבר. ויאמר משה אל העם, אל תיראו, התייצבו וראו את ישועת אדוני אשר יעשה לכם היום, כי אשר ראיתם את מצרים היום לא תוסיפו לראותם עוד עד עולם. אדוני יילחם לכם ואתם תיכחשון. Amen.
Dear family Werner, thank you for everything you bring, for Purim fun and snow shuffling and countless emails and leadership, and for lots and lots and lots of insights I'm getting into the world of online gaming, or whatever it is that you do as I'm teaching you for your bat mitzvah. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I let you go so that we can make space in the presence of the Torah for some words of Torah on this very, very Torah portion by our beloved teacher and friend and student and just also guide and company on our way through the Torah every single Saturday morning. Ta'amod Lisa and you darshanit.
Okay. Thank you. The Passover Story is a redemption song, a song of freedom. It contains within it a beautiful metaphor of the duality of freedom, safety and fear, protection and terror. The Israelites were accompanied on their journey by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Fire. In a wood stove on a deep winter night, it is comforting. Bright, warm, flickering, protection from the nighttime enemies of cold and dark, killing snakes and scorpions and burning the thorns and thistles to make a straight path. The path of Torah. But a wildfire is terrifying, loud, overwhelming, dangerous. The word used for fire in our parshat is Aish. It contains within it this duality. Aish means to glitter, to be polished, but also to be thick, pressed, and dark. Cloud. The source of rain, which is sustaining, protects against the relentless glare of the sun, provides a diffuse illumination. The magic of a misty morning. But a pillar of cloud also calls to mind a tornado that leaves a swath of destruction in its wake, or a thick fog that obscures our way. During Torah study recently, someone remarked that cloud is a perfect metaphor, intangible, multidimensional, but visible. These pillars of cloud and fire are also called kavod, God's glory. So, what role does God have in our lives, and what is freedom? 21st century Americans tend to think of freedom to express ourselves, to travel, choice. The Jews of Pharaoh's Egypt more likely thought of freedom from hunger, from abuse, from pain. In fact, freedom to is generally only available once freedom from largely exists. Choice requires a certain sense of security. Kavod is both to and from. The fire is freedom to see, to have a clear path. Cloud is freedom from, protection from enemies and from the elements. A commonly accepted theory connects the pillars of cloud and fire with a theophany at Sinai, when God's arrival was marked by a thick cloud, by thunder, lightning, smoke, and fire. God's glory, kavod. This visible symbol of the presence of God caused panic among the Egyptians because it cut them off from the Israelites as it guided and protected them throughout their wanderings. Later generations remembered it as a special sign of divine favor. The Sefer HaKarin explains that this revelation of God's glory takes place by means of something visible to the senses, because like a fire or a pillar of cloud. The sudden appearance of the pillar of cloud or fire was an indication that the glory of the Lord, which could not be seen with the senses, was there. But God is also called makom, dwelling place. As Moses says, "Thou hast been our dwelling place," meaning that God contains the world and holds it in permanency as a place holds an object. For this reason, the rabbis call him place, as in blessed be the place who gave the Torah to Israel. So these pillars are also the supports of our dwelling place, our protection. According to Rabbeinu Baya, some of our sages understand the word Sukkot allegorically, meaning that the protective clouds of God acted for them as if they were dwelling in secure huts, as seen in the words of Isaiah verse 5. "The Lord will create over the whole shrine and meeting place of Mount Zion a cloud by day and smoke with a glow of flaming fire by night. Indeed, over all the glory shall be hung a canopy, which will serve as a hut for shade by day and as a shelter for protection against drenching rain." According to Rabbi Eliezer, the Sukkot in the Leviticus verse commanding the holiday were clouds of glory. It's obvious that we would want to remember being surrounded by clouds of glory. For inside the clouds of glory, God was revealed to all the people, as it says, "You, O Lord, appear in plain sight when your cloud rests over them, and when you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night." Rabbi Nachman offers a different interpretation of the cloud of the Lord. He explains that God hides himself in the obstacles in life, in the clouds. A wise person will look at the clouds and find God in them, while others will turn away. Thus, these awe-inspiring, panic-inducing pillars are the glory of God, the visible presence of God, the protection of God, our dwelling place, and God's challenges for us. The Mei HaShaloach describes Sukkot as meaning trust, since living in a temporary dwelling requires trust. It requires trust to surmount life's obstacles. Trust that we can handle the challenge. Trust that God will help us. Trust that we are safe despite the fear. The pillar of cloud teaches of the fear of God, and the pillar of fire teaches of trust. Sometimes we find our hearts filled with great trust, which we call day. It is at these times that we should delve deeply into the fear of God. Thus, the pillar of fear appears during the day. At other times, we are in a pronounced state of fear called night. At these times, we must increase and strengthen our trust in God. Thus, the pillar of trust appears at night. This is the meaning of with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Pirkei Avot 3:17 says, "If there is no wisdom, then there is no fear. And if there is no fear, then there is no wisdom. For wisdom fortifies and strengthens the heart of the wise, and one who truly fears God has trust in God. With trust and awe, we can see God in the cloud." Another phrase repeated during Passover is that God led us forth with an outstretched arm and a mighty hand. According to Ibn Ezra, the outstretched arm refers to the pillar of fire and the pillar of cloud. These pillars are the arms of God, encircling, guiding, protecting. According to the Zohar, the pillar of cloud is that which is always seen with the Shekinah. The cloud is the help of the righteous, and that is why this cloud goes during the day, as it is written in Psalm 42:9, "During the day, Adonai orders his loving kindness, or chesed." A different cloud goes at night, and it is called pillar of fire, which is justice, or gevura, and both of them are found in the Shekinah. So, God is justice and loving kindness, trust and fear, awe and protection, fire and cloud. God gives us obstacles and shelter in his pillar of cloud, trust and fearful glory in his pillar of fire. Freedom is choice and risk, absence of pain and presence of comfort. As we leave this Passover season and head into the world, freed for another year, let us dwell in the Shekinah with both fire and cloud, freedom from and freedom to. Woo!
I realized just now it's 15 years ago that I was sitting in a university restaurant bar with one of my best friends, and we had just finished our Hebrew exam in biblical Hebrew, and we were both the best in the class, and we were nerds. So what we did is we decided to have a private reading club. And we began reading a book that we thought we knew, and then we broke into sweat. And we had a couple of really awkward moments in between us. And we were like, is it really saying what we think it says? Sharon, it's time for the coffee, I just realized. Oh, perfect. And it did. It did. For a couple of weeks, the Hebrew students at Beth Shalom Kids had similar experiences, and Avery's voice grew shriller and shriller as she made her way through the first chapter of the book that we call the Song of Songs, which is a piece of sometimes quite explicit, ancient, erotic poetry in the Torah, in the Tanakh. So why is this? It's not just there randomly. It is the festival scroll for the festival of Passover. Because Passover, as Lisa has already alluded to so powerfully, and yet much less explicitly, it's the beginning of a love story where God's self, is reaching out his arms and takes the people back in. And this is how the rabbis read this scroll, as the beginning of a love story. We're in spring. It's wild. It's crazy. We're on our way. It is the feeling that you have when you enter a new relationship and you just feel that you gave your entire life over into the hands and hearts and souls of someone else to become someone new and to see what the two of you will create together. And the story will continue on Shavuot and Sukkot and on the high holidays. But I did want to give you just a glimpse of what that actually sounds like. Shir HaShirim, Ashir LiShlomo, Yishakeni menashikot pihu, Ki tovim dodecha miyayin. The Song of Songs, which is Shlomo's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For thy love is better than wine. Lesusati berichvei paro, dimiti rayati. I have compared thee, O my love, to a steed in Pharaoh's chariots. Navu lechayich betuim, tzavarech bechauzim. We will make these circlets of gold with studs of silver. Smolo tachat roshi, vemino techapkeni. Let his left hand be under my head, and his right hand embrace me. Anadodi ve'amali kumilach, rayati yafati ve'lechilach.
my beloved spoke and said unto me, rise up, my love, my fair one. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. Dodi liva nilo, haroe bashoshanim. My beloved is mine, and I am his, that feedeth among the lilies. Mizot olam min hamidbar, timrimod ashan, mekoteret mo ulvana, bechol avkad rochel. Who is this that cometh up out of the wilderness like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all powders of the merchants? Hinach yafa rayati, hinach yafa, einaich yoni mi be'at atzam vatech, sha'arech ke'eder ha'izim, שגלשו מהר גלעד. Below the affair, my love, behold, you are fair. I sleep, but my heart waketh. Hark! My beloved knocketh, open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, my locks with the drops of the night. And just imagine that this is God talking to you. And then you have yet another message of this Passover. Chag Sameach. We are on page 653. For some of you, it might be a custom if both of your parents are still alive. If both of your parents are still alive, to leave the room. Because there is a Jewish minhag that for the time of the Yizkor prayer, it's a small Yizkor prayer, it's like 5 minutes, that the ones who do not wish anything evil about their parents shouldn't be present, but it is absolutely your choice. You can also stay in here. We are on page 653, Eli, Eli, the beginning of the Yizkor service. The Yizkor candle is over there, right next to our hall of memory. Page 582, El Maleh Rachamim, fully compassionate God on high.
El Maleh Rachamim, Shochein Baronim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, קדושים וטהרים, כזוהר הרקיע, מזהירים. לנשמות יקירינו שהלכו לעולמם, בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים. ויצרור החיים את נשמתם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, ויענו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר
Amen. Page 581, a reading we can read together. 81. I used to be part of you, belong to you, the extension of your being, but now you live within me, are the spark of my conscience. I say Kaddish for you, with you, as you sing your melodies, speak your words, hearing your voice in mine, and my eyes, too green, have somehow started to reflect the blue of yours. I used to be part of you, protected by your presence, by your light, but now the time is mine, and alone I must be more than myself. Your child has become your heir, has become you. Page 580 for the silent Yizkor. (576), Psalm 23.
Adonai roi, lo echsar, binot sheyar bitzeni al mei menuchot yenachaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, yeshovev, yancheni b'maglei tzedek, yancheni b'maglei tzedek, leman shemo. Gam ki elech begeit al mavet, lo irara, ki ata imadi, shiftecha umishantecha, ema yenachamuni. Taroch lefanai, shulchan neged sorai, dishanti vashemen roshi, kosi revaya. Achtung v'chesed yirvuni, kol yemei chayai, kol yemei chayai, v'shavti beveit Adonai le'orech yamim.
The same Shir HaShirim, the same Song of Songs, has a line in it that says, "Do not despair, for stronger than death is love." Please rise with me on page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. And I invite you to say the names of the people out loud that you have gathered close to your heart over the last minutes, as I look in your direction. Your son, Kevin. Pete. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחי יכון וביום מכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, ועגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר והתעלה והתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. You can stay standing, because as we have this morning wrapped all our stories into the scroll, the stories of love and the story of grief and the story of pride and upcoming events and the stories of struggles and ongoing journeys, it is time to say goodbye to the Torah and also very much end the service. So we are on page 374 with the end of the Torah service. 374.
עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר.
רחיה דחינום וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש, חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם. We're going to sing this again a little later. We just have to do this one thing one more. Okay.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה
לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה.
תורה,
תורה, תורה, תורה, תורה, תורה, תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה,
תורה ציווה לנו משה.
תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו
Moshe.
You need to keep on singing because I'm not done yet.
Torah, 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 Torah,
Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe.
Torah, Torah,
Torah, Torah, Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. Now can we sing it?
Chaim hi,
למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה דמאושר, דרכיה, דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום.
Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh yameinu, Chadesh yameinu kekedem.
And as you're standing, maybe close to someone you know and maybe not at all, just imagine all the things that this community holds every single time we meet. יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. May God bless you and protect you, and may you walk in peace. Our closing song is a line from Shir HaShirim, the love song you'll never forget. And then after the song, we have matzah and coffee and eggs and fruit and wine and grape juice and horseradish because we have a leftover breakfast. So if you want to stay, please do. And please, take the time, say hello, say Chag Sameach, say Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Amber.